ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Shiksha, chapter 21. We have been discussing, after discussing the Aishwarya, the opulence of the Absolute Truth, the sweetness of the Absolute Truth, we have been discussing, because ultimately uh, the whole discussion is pointing out that you have to establish someone with Bhagwan, but Bhagwan, which Bhagwan? Bhagwan in his Aishwarya feature or in his Madhurya feature, his feature of sweetness, especially in Vraja Krishna. So the beauty of Vrindavan Krishna, Mahaprabhu is describing. So that is our aspiration, to be ultimately attracted. So in the last few classes, we started this discussion, and the first part we dealt was the qualities of Krishna's transcendental forms. And then the next was, sorry, there was another theme before that, the various aspects of Krishna's sweet form. So this also, Mahaprabhu, verse by verse, we discussed. And then now, after reciting these beautiful verses from the Bhagavatam, Yasyanana Makarakundal Charu Karna, and then Atatiyak Bhavan. Now, Krishna's beauty is compared with the Kama Gayatri. The Kama Gayatri. So this is a very, very interesting discussion. So we'll start this now. Kama Gayatri Mantra Rupa Haya Krishnera Swarupa Sarda 26 अक्षर तारा है सही अक्षर चंद्र है कृष्ण करे उदय करी उदय त्रिजगत कैला काममय. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is identical with the Vedic hymn known as Kama Gayatri. Kama Gayatri mantra rupa hai Krishnera Swarup, which is composed of 24 and half syllables. Sardha Chabbis. Chabbis is 24, Sardha means half. Those syllables are compared to moons. Say Akshara Chandra hoy, that rise in Krishna. Krishna kare kari udhay. Thus, all three worlds are filled with desire. Tri Jagat Kaila Kamamai. So in the Kama Gayatri mantra, there are 24 and a half syllables. There is a very interesting pastime with respect to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also wrote a commentary on the Chaitanya Charitamrit, which is not available now. So when he read Kaviraj Goswami's statement here that the Kama Gayatri is composed of 24 and a half syllables, so he could not figure out how it is 24 and a half. So he studied various shastras and he could not figure out how it is 24 and a half. And then somehow, did Kaviraj, who's an eternal associate, free from all defects, did he commit any mistake like that, by stating 24 and a half? He could not figure out that half. And it's not possible. So he was in deep dilemma. How is it, where is this half? That missing half syllable was, causing him trouble. And he went into a real dilemma and he practically researched all the grammar books, but still he could not figure out. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is also an eternal associate from the spiritual world. We should remember that. So this is specifically the pastime. And ultimately, one day night, Srimati Radharani came in the dream and told Vishwanath that half syllable explanation and the meaning you will find in this book. So you refer that book. So then Vishwanath was thrilled, and when he referred that book, he found out, oh, this is that half syllable. And he was very blissful. And then he Mantrartha Deepika. Mantrartha Deepika is what he composed, as far as I remember. I think that is the title. So there was a higher purpose that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur should compose this work. So that's why he could not resolve this conflict of that 24 and a half syllables. So we are not going to go into that grammar aspect of that 24 and a half syllables. We are only going to see how there are 24 and a half moons in Krishna. This Say Akshara Chandra Hai Krishna Kare Uday. So these syllables are compared to the moons that rise in Krishna. So how there are 24 and a half moons in Krishna, we will see that. Anyone knows which are the 24 and a half moons? And the transcendental personality of Krishna, anyone knows about it? Anyone is aware which are the 24 and a half? No. Okay, so let us see now. Saki he Krishna Mukha Dvija Raja Raja Krishna Vapu Simhasana Vasi Raja Shashane Kare Sanga Chandrera Samaj. The face of Krishna is the king of all moons. And the body of Krishna is the throne. Thus, the king governs a society of moons. So now Krishna's face is compared to moon. This entire, Anana, the face is compared to the moon. Krishna's face is considered the king of moons and his body is considered the throne. All the other Chandras, moons, are considered to be subordinate. So the king of moons is his face, and there are other moons within Krishna, but the other moons are considered as subordinate moons. That's the point. His left cheek is a moon, and his right cheek is a moon. So the left cheek is also round, and that also represents like a moon, and this right cheek is also one moon. His forehead is considered a half moon. So the forehead is considered half moon, and the spot of sandalwood pulp on his forehead is considered a moon. So Krishna's face, his two cheeks, that becomes three, and forehead is half moon, 3.5, and that spot of sandalwood on his forehead, that is 1 moon, so 4.5. His fingernails and toenails are also considered different moons. So these fingernails, there are 10 fingernails and 10 toenails. So they are also considered as moons. So total is 10 plus 10, 20, and 24.5. So total 24.5. So now who will tell which are the 24.5 moons which are there in Krishna? Krishna Kare Uday. 24.5 moons. Tirthat Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
His face, Prabhu.
His
Then both
entire
the cheeks,
face.
entire face, both the cheeks.
Both cheeks, yes. That
And
becomes.
forehead.
Forehead is what?
Sandalwood pulp.
No, forehead is half moon or full moon?
Half moon.
So 3.5.
3.5. Then toenails and fingernails, 23.5.
Okay, Krishna's face is 1 full moon.
Yes, bro.
That is the king of moons.
Yes, bro.
And then there are 2 left cheek and right cheek, correct?
Yes, bro.
So this is 3. Now tell me the 4th one.
Fourth one.
The round sandalwood pulp on his forehead.
Okay, bro. Round
that is
sandalwood
1.
pulp.
And his forehead is also compared to half moon.
Okay, forehead is half moon.
So that becomes 4.5. Then
fingernails and toenails.
Fingernails how many?
10.
10. And toenails?
10.
Okay, so this much we should remember and try to meditate.
Yeah.
Try to meditate, this 24.5 moons. Okay. Okay, there is one question. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. The fourth one is sandalwood. I didn't understand this. Which matlab, the
See, when you apply tilak, a round tilak on your forehead, that is a spot of sandalwood pulp on his forehead is considered a moon. So that is what we are speaking about. Are you clear?
Oh. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. Dui Ganda Su Chicken Jini Mani Sundarpa Sai Dui Purna Chandra Jani Lalata Ashtamindu Tahe Te Chandana Bindu Sai Eka Purna Chandramani. Krishna has 2 cheeks that shine like glowing gems. Dui Ganda Suchikan. Suchikan means they are glossy and shining. Both are considered full moons. Say Dui Purna Chandrajani. Jini Mani Sandarpa. Mani Sandarpa means they are money like glowing gems there. His forehead is considered a half moon. Lalate Ashtami Indu Tahate Chandana Bindu. And a spot of sandalwood there is considered a full moon. Say Eka Purna Chandramani. That that one spot is considered a full moon, but the lalat is considered as half moon. Karanaka Chandanera Hata Vamsi Upar Kare Nata Tara Gita Muralira Tana Padanaka Chandragana Tale Kare Nartana Nupurara Dvani Yara Gana. His fingertails are many full moons and they dance on the flute in his hands. So this is a very poetic way, no? So the fingernails You can see when Krishna plays the flute, so the moons keep on dancing when Krishna is playing the flute. Their song is the melody of that flute. His toenails are also many flutes. Padanaka Chandragana, many moons, and they dance on the ground. So when Krishna is, when the dancer is dancing, because of the movement of his legs, so these moons are also dancing. Can you just visualize, what kind of a, that, the moon, which is so beautiful, uh, in all poetic compositions, the moon's beauty is always compared. Sun is not compared as beautiful. Why sun is not compared as beautiful as compared to the moon? What is the reason? Anyone knows? It's a simple poetic metaphor which is used always by poets. It's more, moon is considered beautiful and not the sun. So what is the reason? It's a very simple answer. You can try. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Moonlight is very soothing. It's cooling, and sun rays are very harsh.
Yes, they are very soothing to the heart. The sun rays are very harsh. So, and it expands our heart also, in one sense, when we see the moon rays. So any beauty, naturally blossoms the heart. So that's why moon is always, taken. So here, so you can visualize now, when Krishna is playing the flute, all the moons are dancing, and Krishna is dancing, then on the ground, with the jingling of the ankle bells, Nupurar Dhwani, and all these moons are dancing. So I have another question. It's a very interesting question. There are many instruments by which we can play music, like the harmonium is there, the sitar is there in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there is no harmonium, I heard. There's no harmonium there. And there are many other instruments, but why does Krishna play flute? What is the reason Krishna plays flute? Why is Murli there? Vamshi there? What is the reason? Why, why the flute instrument, musical instrument? Why not any other instrument Krishna plays? Why he plays the flute? What is the reason? Anyone knows? Or you can guess also. What is the reason? What is the reason? Anyone? You all can try, no problem. There's no harm in trying. Why flute and not any other instrument? So the reason is the flute is the only instrument which is closest to the heart. The harmonium has to kept here, the sitar and all. But the flute is the closest because you play it from the mouth, and whatever emotions are there in the heart are fully expressed in the flute. So that's how Krishna expresses his emotions of the heart through the flute, and that's why Krishna plays the flute. This was some reflection which I just shared. Why the flute? Okay, where are we now actually? Kama Gayatri, yeah. Yeah. So this is the comparison done now. Okay, next verse. Yeah, this we have taken. Nache Makara Kundala, Netra Leela Kamala, Vilasi Raja Satata, Nachaye, Ruhadanu Netrabana, Tanur Guna, Duikana, Narimana Lakshe, Vinde Taya. Krishna's face is the enjoyer king. That full moon face makes his sharp shaped earrings and lotus eyes dance. So the full moon face is there, and on that full moon face, there are the shark shaped earrings. And these earrings are Makara Kundal. They are called as Makara Kundal. And his eyes are like lotus, and the eyes also are dancing. The eyes are constantly moving. His eyebrows are like bows, and his eyes are like arrows. His ears are fixed on the string of that bow. And when his eyes spread to his ears, so the ear is like the string. You pull the ear, na? Sometimes you can pull it. It's like a string. So his ears act like a string of the bow, and when eyes spread to his ears, he pierces the hearts of the gopis. Ei chandera bada nata pasari chandanera hat vini mule vilaya nijamrita kohon smita josnamrite kahare adaramrita sabaloka kare apayata. The dancing features of his face surpass all other full moons and expand the marketplace of full moons. So the dancing features of his face, while that when Bharatnatyam we do, the face is always moved. So when this full moon, which is the main moon, it expands all other marketplace of moons, because there are many moons, there are 24, there are 23 and a half. Although priceless, Vini Mule, the nectar of Krishna's face is distributed to everyone. Nijamrit. Some purchase the moon rays of his sweet smiles. Kohon Smita Josnamrita. And others purchase the nectar of his lips. Kahare Adaramrita. Thus he pleases everyone. Sab loka kare apa Vipula Taruna Madana Mada Purana Mantriyara Ei Duinayana Lavanya Keli Sadhana Jananetra Rasayana Sukamaya Govinda Vadana. Krishna has two reddish, widely spread eyes. So Krishna has red in his eyes, and you can see especially this in the Jagannath deity. These are ministers of the king. So these two reddish eyes, they are called as the ministers of the king. And they subdue the pride of Cupid. Madana Mada Gurana, who also has beautiful eyes. That face of Govinda, which is full of happiness, Sukamaya Govinda Vadana, is the home of pastimes of beauty, Lavanya Keli Sadhana, and it is very pleasing to everyone's eyes. Jana, Netra, Rasayan. For the people, Jana, Netra means eyes, Rasayan, it is giving nectar. It is very pleasing. In Ayurveda, there is Rasayan Shastra. Some of the Rasayan preparations are very tasty to eat. There are many kinds of Rasayan preparations which come, and you taste it with the tongue. So similarly, the eyes are Rasayan of Krishna's beauty. Yandra punya punji phale, sei mukha darshan mile, dui anki ki karibe pan, dvi guna bade trishnalo, pite nare manakshobh, dhuke kare vidhira nindane. If by devotional service one gets the result of pious activities and sees Lord Krishna's face. Now here pious activities refer to the spiritual merits by performing devotional service. What can he relish with only two eyes? Dui anke ki karibe pan. How can he relish? His greed and thirst increases twofold by seeing the nectarian face of Krishna. Due to his inability to sufficiently drink that nectar, he becomes very unhappy and criticizes the Creator for not having given more than two eyes. Na dekhila laksha koti sabe dila anki duti tate dila nimesha achadana vidhi jada tapodana rasa shunya taraman nahi jane yogya srijana. So how they criticize? When the onlookers of Krishna's face become dissatisfied in this way, Na dekila lakshkoti, he thinks, why didn't the creator give me thousands and millions of eyes? Why has he only given me two? Sabadila anki duti, tate dila nimish achadan. And even these two eyes are disturbed by blinking, which keeps me from continuously seeing Krishna's face. Thus, one accuses the creator of being dry and tasteless due to engaging in severe austerities. Vidhi refers to Brahma. Jada Tapodan, oh, what here Tapasya is done and he's created these eyes, they blink. The creator is only a dry manufacturer, Rasa Shunya Taraman. He does not know how to create and set things in their proper places. Nahi Jane Yoga Srijan. So this is how those are fortunate can see. Now, for us, these are all way beyond our imagination and understanding, that we desire to have thousands of eyes, millions of eyes to see Krishna, because we are not having that adhikar to see Krishna. At the stage of bhava, Krishna Sakshat Yogya. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, what is the symptom of Bhava Bhakti? That Krishna sometimes gives darshan, Sakshat, either in the heart or he might physically also appear. So this is what happens at the stage of Bhava, and Bhava is so rare. So how do we practically relate this, that we can desire millions of eyes? Where does it all begin? How can we come to this point that ultimately this is our goal, and what is the solution? How do we come to that point? We are not in that mood now where we desire hundreds and millions of eyes. So what is the solution? Any thoughts on that? Thoughts? Yes, Tirtha Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, by hearing and contemplating.
Yes, we should desire to hear more and more Krishna Katha and hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if we start hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what will happen? The next few verses are going to explain. The next section will explain. So the more we hear attentively the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and one of the names of Krishna is Shruta Ikshita. Shruta and Ikshita. Shruta means to hear, Ikshita means to see. So we can see Krishna through hearing. So this is what we need to work on. The more and more we should hear Krishna Katha, more and more we should attentively hear the holy name. E dekibe Krishnanan tare kare vinayan vidihana hene avichara mora yadi bole dhare koti anki tare kare tabe jani yoga shrishti tara. The creator says, let those who will see Krishna's beautiful face have two eyes. Just see the lack of consideration, avichar, exhibited by this person posing as a creator. If the creator took my advice, he would give millions of eyes to the person who intends to see Krishna's face. If the creator will accept this advice, then I would say that he is competent in his work. Tabe jani yoga shishtitara. So, in this world also, there are sometimes material manifestations which can really be awe-striking and beautiful. And when we see that, my goodness, what a beauty of the nature. I was taken by one student. I was not so inclined, but Prabhuji, this is one island just at the coast side near the beach. So I wanted to show it. I want to show it. I said, I am not interested. No, no, no. Just to please him, I went. But when I went and I saw that place, my goodness, it was like an heavenly abode. So I was wonderstruck. What a beautiful place. What beauty is there in that place? I was wondering then, what beauty must be the one who has created it? If there is on earth in a small, tiny place, such a beautiful thing which can exist, and earth is just like one dot, one spot in this entire creation, what beauty must be there within the creation? We don't know about the higher realms also, and what beauty must be there in the beyond the spiritual world. So what beauty must be there in the one who has created both the material and spiritual world? So definitely there should be millions of eyes. That's the point. That's how logically we can understand. Krishnanga madhurya sindhu sumadura mukha इंदु अति मधुस्मित सुकिरणे ऐतिने लागिला मन लोभे करे आस्वादन श्लोक पढ़े स्वहस्त चालने. The transcendental form of Lord Sri Krishna is compared to an ocean of sweetness. Krishna Anga Madhura Sindhu. A particularly extraordinary vision is the moon above that ocean. Sumadura Mukha Indu. Sri Krishna's face and an even more extraordinary vision in his smile. So Krishna is an ocean of sweetness, and in that beauty of Krishna, more beautiful is Krishna's face, Anana. And more beautiful than the face is Krishna's smile, which is sweeter than sweet and is like shining beams of moonlights. Sukirane, Ati Madhu Smita Sukiran. While speaking about these things with Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to remember one thing after another, moving his hands in ecstasy. He recited a verse. Shloka Pade Swahasta Chalane. So now, in the next section, 136 to 139, the sweetness of Krishna's body, face, and smile. So these three things were indicated here by very poetically. Now, all these three are in more detail expressed. So he started reciting these verses. Madhuram Madhuram Vapurasya Vibhu Madhuram Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram Madhugandha Mrudo Smitam Etaddaho Madhuram 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 Madhuram. So Vapu, his Vapu is Madhuram, sweet. And more sweet is Vadanam, his face. And more Madhu Gandhi, Mrudu Smita, his slight smile. Oh my Lord, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is very sweet and his face is even sweeter than his body. But his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is still sweeter. So this is exactly what this verse was saying. And the reference is here in this song. So anyone knows who composed this song? Which is the song? Anyone knows? I don't recollect it. I think it is Madhurashtakam. That is the song which was in that. I think it is Hasitam Madhuram, Chalitam Madhuram. Many things, everything is being mentioned. Oh, sorry, this is from Krishna Karnamrit. That is another song which is called as Madhurashtakam. So, but this is from Krishna Karnamrit by Bilwangal Thakur. Sanatana Krishna Madhurya Amritera Sindhu Mora Manna Sannipati Sabe Pite Kare Mati Durdaiva Vaidya Na Deke Ekabindu. My dear Sanatan, the sweetness of Krishna's personality is just like an ocean of ambrosia, Amritara Sindhu. Although my mind is now afflicted with convulsive diseases and I wish to drink that entire ocean, the repressive physician does not allow me to drink even one drop. Durdaiva Vaidina De Ekabindu. So my mind wants to drink it, but the mind is afflicted with this convulsive disease. It wants to drink that entire ocean, but the physician is repressive. He's not allowing me to drink. So very beautifully, poetically, there is a comparison done. So now the explanation, Prabhupada, in this purport he gives, when there is a combination of Kapha, Pitta and Vayu, the three bodily elements, there occurs Sannipati, or a convulsive disease. When all these three combinations combine, then there is, in Ayurveda, this is called as Sannipati, or a convulsive disease. Lord Chaitanya said, this disease of mine is caused by the personal features of Lord Krishna. The three elements are the beauty of Krishna's body, the beauty of his face, and the beauty of his smile. So just like Kapha, Pitta, Vayu cause this disease in the body, so now Mahaprabhu is afflicted with this disease because of the personal features of Krishna, and there the Kapha, Pitta, Vayu, these three things are there. So here also there is Krishna's body, Krishna's face, and Krishna's smile. Stricken by these three beauties, my mind goes into convulsions. So the mind is going into convulsions. It wishes to drink the ocean of Krishna's beauty, but because I'm undergoing convulsions, my physician, who is the physician? Krishna himself. Who is Krishna himself? Does not even allow me to take a drop of water from that ocean. So this is how the metamorphical comparison is done. It's very beautiful, explanation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ecstatic in this way because he was presenting himself in the mood of the gopis. The gopis wanted to drink the ocean of Krishna's sweetness arising from the bodily features of Krishna, but Krishna did not allow them to come near. Consequently, their desire to meet Krishna increased, and being unable to drink the ambrosia of Krishna's bodily features, they became very unhappy. Krishnangalavanyapura Madura Haite Samudara Samadura Tate Yai Mukha Sudakara Madura Haite Samadura Taha Haite Sumadura Tare E Smita Josna Bhara. Krishna's body is a city of attractive features. Krishnanga Lavanyapur. Lavanya means, I mentioned, very beautiful. Pura. Pura means city. And it is sweeter than sweet. Madura Haite Sumadura. His face, which is like the moon, is still sweeter. Tate E Mukha Sudhakar. Sudha means again nectar. And the supremely sweet, gentle smile. Madura Haite Sumadura. Taha Haite Sumadura. Tara E Smita Josna Bar. Is that moon-like face is like the rays of the moonshine. So this is another poetic explanation. The smile on Krishna's face, which is just like the smiling of the moon, generates greater and greater happiness for the gopis. So, do you know in this material world what keeps the conditioned soul trapped? Anyone? Yes, Mataji.
Suppose it's a guess, it's his or her unlimited desires.
Okay, I am giving you some hint because what we are discussing about Krishna's three features, which are very beautiful. So, in relation to that, anything you can think?
Krishna's smile.
Yeah, Krishna's smile. Okay, Krishna's body is very beautiful, and Krishna's face is still more nectarian, Sumadura, and still more sweeter is his smile. So, what traps the conditioned soul in this material world?
Not able to.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna's smile.
Oh, we have all trapped because of Krishna's smile. We would have got liberated if Krishna had smiled on us.
Any that is for sure.
Pardon?
मतलब smile,
Have we seen
smile
Krishna
for our
smile?
beloved one. नहीं, not for the Baddha Jiva. It is smile for our beloved one.
Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji, yes, what he has to say. Yes. Yes, Tukaram Mishkin Prabhu.
Material desires, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Material desires,
Oh,
Prabhu.
we are again going off track. I said we have to stick to only these three things which
Oh,
Krishna's body, Krishna's face, and Krishna's smile. Actually, smile in this material world traps one in this material world. It is smile. Whether it is, of the opposite sex, whichever it is, all get trapped in it in this material world. And that's why Prabhupada in one purport in the Bhagavatam says that when a pure devotee smiles, he can attract the conditioned soul's hearts towards the lotus feet of Krishna. So the pure devotee smile is not ordinary smile. So the smile of these opposite sexes, male or female, that traps one in the material world. And ultimately, when a pure devotee smiles on someone, that attracts them towards Krishna. And ultimately, we'll attain our Grayojan goal when we are fortunate to get purified and Krishna smiles upon us. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is then Prasanniva Bharata. Krishna smiled slightly when Arjuna was in bewilderment. He went into Maya, right? So Krishna smiled and then started the instructions. Asochanam Vasojastam. Got him out of the bewilderment. And then when Kunti Maharani also offered her prayers, then Krishna just smiled. And there in that purport, Prabhupada, quite exhaustively mentions about the smile. So Kunti Maharani's prayers, in the last verses, I think it is there. Yes. Yes. Okay. I would like to show this, although it's a little tutor, but it's important. So after the Lord thus hearing the prayers of Kunti Devi composed in choice words of flourishing, mildly smiled. That smile was enchanting as his mystic power. Mohayan iva mayaya. So here Maya refers to, his mystic power. Anything that is enchanting in the world is said to be a representation. The conditioned souls who are engaged in trying to lord it over material are also enchanted by his mystic powers, but his devotees are enchanted by a different way by the glories of the Lord and his merciful blessings upon us. So you pray to Lord Krishna. The word Maya is used in the sense of delusion and mercy. Here the word Maya is used in the sense of Lord's mercy upon Kunti Devi. So there is another purport where Prabhupada mentions about the smile of the pure devotee. But I hope the point is very clear. So ultimately, smile is what entraps one in Maya here. The smile on Krishna's face, which is just like a smiling of the moon, generates greater and greater happiness for the gopis. So now this is the last theme, Krishna's flute sound and its effects. And we discussed why Krishna plays the flute and not any other instrument. Smita Kirana Sukarpura Paishe Adhara Madure Se Madhu Mataya Tribhuvane Vamshi Chidra Akashe Tara Gunas Shabde Paishe Dhvani Rupe Pana Parimane. His slight smiling and fragrant illumination are compared to the camphor, which enters the sweetness of his lips. That sweetness is transformed and enters into space as vibrations from the holes of his flute. So I was mentioning, ultimately, uh, uh, the smile which is coming genuinely from the heart, that smile has effect. Waiters also, when you go to hotel, they smile at you, or the air hostesses smile, but that is not having any effect on the heart, although you might get attracted. But the genuine smile from the heart, that which is, uh, there, that is coming from the heart and then exhibited on the facial expression. So that illumination is compared to camphor, and that enters the lips. And from the lips, it is transformed into vibration, sound in the holes of his flute. And that's why I told you the deepest emotions of the soul, or the deepest emotions of Krishna's heart, are exhibited through his flute. So that's why Krishna plays the flute. Seidwani chaudeke daye anda bhedi vaikunte yaya vale paishe jageter kane sabha mata hola kare balat kare ane dhari visheshata yuvati ragane. The sound of Krishna's flute spreads in 4 directions. Say dhvani chaudake, chaudike, chaudike means 4 directions. Daya. Even though Krishna vibrates his flute within this universe, its sound pierces the universal covering and goes to the spiritual sky. Anda bheda vaikunta yai. It goes up to Vaikunta. Thus the vibration enters the ears of all inhabitants. It especially enters Golok Vrindavan Dham and attracts the mind of the young damsels of Rajabhumi, bringing them forcibly to where Krishna is present. Visheshata Yuvatira Gane. Dhvani Bada Uddhat Pati Vratar Hange Vrata Pati Kola Haite Tani Ane Vaikuntera Lakshmi Gane Ei Kare Akarshane Tara Age Keba Gopi Gane. The vibration of Krishna's flute is very aggressive. Dhvani Bada Uddhata. And it breaks the vows of all chaste women. Pati Vratara Bhanga Vrata. Indeed, its vibration takes them forcibly from the laps of their husbands. Pati Kola Haite Tani Ane. This vibration of his flute attracts even the goddess of fortune, Vaikuntera Lakshmi Gana, in the Vaikuntha planets. Ei Kare Akarshan. To say nothing of the poor damsels of Vrinda. Tare Age Keba Gopigan. Nivi Khasaya Pati Age. Griha Dharma Karaya Tyage. Bale Dhari Ane Krishna Stane. Lok Dharma Lajja Bhay. Sab Gyan Lupt Hoy. Ache Na Chaye Sab Nari Gane. The further continuation of the effects of his flute. The vibration of his flute slackens the knot of their underwear even in front of their husbands. Graha Dharma Kara Tyag. Thus the gopis are forced to abandon their household duties and come before Lord Krishna. Bale Dhari Ane Krishna Sani. In this way, all social etiquette, Loka Dharma, shame, Lajja, fear are vanquished. Bhai, Sab Gyan Lupt Hoy. The vibration of his flute causes all women to dance. Kanera bhitar vas kare, apane taha sada spure, anya shabda na deha praveshete, anakata na shune kana, ana bolite bolaya ana, ei krishnera vamsira charitra. The vibration of his flute is just like the bird that creates a nest within the ears. A bird which creates a nest where? Inside the ear of the gopis and always remains prominent there, not allowing any other sound to enter their ears. So the gopis are maddened, just like a person who is ghost haunted, he's always haunted with ghost and, it doesn't leave, the ghost doesn't leave. So similarly, the gopis are haunted by the flute sound. All the time they are hearing the flute sound. Indeed, the gopis cannot hear anything else, nor are they able to concentrate on anything else. not even to give a suitable reply. Such are the effects of the vibration of Krishna's flute. So, this effect of the vibration of the flute on the gopis' ears, how we can come to know that devotees who are sadhakas, I'm explaining, who are practicing sadhana bhakti, how very close, not, it's a very lofty platform of the gopis who are actually participating in Krishna's pastimes, but very close comparison of a sadhaka, if he has attained this level, how we can understand? How can we understand that, just like the gopis are always hearing the flute sound, how do you understand a sadhaka who has attained, some level of perfection in his spiritual life? How can you attain? What is the symptom? Anyone? Any thoughts about it? I hope the question is clear. Anyone? Any thoughts? You all can try, not a problem. How do sadhakas can understand, just like the gopis, being attracted to, it's like a nest which is there in the ears and always they are hearing that sound. So for sadhakas who have, on that platform, what is their symptom? What is their symptom? Just like the gopis have this symptom. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, the sadhaka relishes hearing Krishna Katha always.
Okay, very good. So specifically here we can understand that the sadhaka is constantly vibrating the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Right.
So if he's constantly vibrating the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then that is like close to what this description is. And I think Prabhupada mentions like the vibration of Krishna's flute is always prominent in the ears of the gopis. Naturally, they cannot hear anything else. Constant remembrance of the holy sound of Krishna's flute keeps them enlightened and enlivened, and they do not allow any other sound to enter their ears. Since their attention is fixed on Krishna's flute, they cannot divert their minds to any other subject. In other words, a devotee who has heard the sound of Krishna's flute forgets to talk or hear any other subject. Now, Prabhupada says, this vibration of Krishna's flute is represented by the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Please mark this statement. And Prabhupada says, a serious devotee of the Lord who chants and hears this transcendental vibration becomes so accustomed to it that it cannot divert his attention to any subject matter not related to Krishna's blissful characteristics and paraphernalia. So one who chants very seriously the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he is always attracted to Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Manthan, like chanting and reading Shastra. So nothing, his mind doesn't divert. So that is the close indication. Now, after describing, the effect of the flute sound and its effects, now Mahaprabhu returns to his external consciousness. Puna kahe bhaya gyan, ana kahite kahilun ane, Krishna kripa tomara upare, mora chitta brahme kare, nijaishwarya madhuri, mora mukhe sunaye tomare. Mahaprabhu says, resuming his external consciousness, bhaya gyan, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, Puna kahe, I have not spoken of what I intended. Lord Krishna is very merciful to you because by bewildering my mind, he has revealed his personal opulences and sweetness. He has caused you to hear all these things from me for your understanding. Mora mukha shunai tumare, nija aishwarya madhuri. The Aishwarya and the Madhurya features of the Lord. Krishna spoke through my mouth because you are qualified to hear. So as long as we don't have adhikar to hear, there will be no Shrota who will know through whom we can hear these subjects. So Sanatana Goswami was qualified. That's why these things came out from the mouth of Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu admitted that he was speaking like a madman, which he should not have done for the understanding of those who are externally situated. Statement about Krishna's body, his characteristic, and his flute would appear like a madman statement to a mundane person. Yes, all it was actually a fact that Krishna wanted to reveal himself to Sanatana Goswami due to his specific mercy upon him. Because Sanatana Goswami had the mercy, so it got revealed. Some other Krishna explained himself and his flute to Sanatana Goswami through the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared as though mad. So these are very, very elevated subjects, and we don't have attraction for it. We have to admit. About Krishna's beauty, Krishna's moon-like face, about Krishna's flute sound, what effect? Because our chitta has unlimited sounds of the sense objects, impressions. And as long as we don't chant and do Cheto Darpan Marjanam, and to a certain degree where Nashta Prayasha Bhadrasha has not happened, we cannot really fathom these things. This is madness. And only a devotee who is mad and intoxicated with these things, for us, we might think, oh, this devotee is mad, but actually he's rightly situated. So like that, these poetic expressions through very beautiful verses have been given for us, for our meditation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu admitted that he wanted to tell Sanatana Goswami something else, but some other in transcendental ecstasy, he spoke a different subject matter. So all these wonderful features have been explained about Krishna's moonlight beauty, Krishna's flute. Now I have a question to the audience, just for a little contemplation and reflection, just because this whole opulence and beauty of Krishna was described. And one of the verses, it was described that Krishna wears the pitambar, a yellow dhoti. Anyone, the audience, why does Krishna wear a yellow dhoti? Anyone knows? Why does Krishna wear a yellow dhoti? What is the reason Krishna wears a yellow dhoti? Okay, one hand has been raised. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, it's for Radharani's Swarnakanti.
Yes,
And
because Radharani's heart is golden, and in her heart, Krishna is there, and her Kanti is also golden. So that is manifested. Krishna has deep affection and love for Srimati Radharani. So that's why he's wearing the yellow dhoti. That's the reason. So it's so deep. And even in this world, we know that, these relationships, the wife would love to wear a dress which the husband likes. So this is because it shows affection and love. So this is mundane rasa, but real in spiritual rasa, this is exhibited. And Srimati Radharani wears a blue sari because Krishna's heart, in Krishna's heart, Srimati Radharani is there, and Krishna is Sham, is like a, like a color of the sky, Abhinavadhara Chala Sundari. So that is exhibited by Srimati Radharani wearing the blue sari. So like that. So like that, poetically, these topics were discussed. So just one thought I shared. अमित बाउल आन कहे Krishnera Madhuramrita Strote Yahi Vahi. Since I have become a madman, Baul. Baul is mad. There was one Upper Sampradaya called as Baul. They were like mad in intoxication with God, but they were taking intoxicants. So that was a deviant. You have to become intoxicated with the chanting of the holy name. I have become a madman. I am saying one thing instead of another. This is because I've been carried away by the waves of the nectarian ocean of Krishna's transcendental sweetness. Krishnera Madhur Amrita Srote Yahi Vahi. Vahi means I've been carried away. Tabe Mahaprabhu Shanek Mauna Kari Rahe Mane Eka Kari Punah Sanatana Kahe. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then remained silent for a moment. Mauna Kare Rahe. Finally, adjusting things within his mind. Mana Eka Kari Punah Sanatana Kahe. He again spoke to Sanatana Goswami. So what did he speak? Krishnera Madhuri Ar Mahaprabhure Mukhe Iha Eishune Sei Bhashe Prema Sukhe. Now the Falashruti is there. If anyone gets an opportunity to hear about the sweetness of Krishna in this chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnera Madhuri Ar Mahaprabhure Mukhe, and that too, Krishna's sweetness has been described by whom? Mahaprabhu. Who else is more qualified to describe Mahaprabhu, who has come in the Kanti and the Bhav of Srimati Radharani? He will certainly be eligible to float in the transcendental blissful ocean of love of God. Iha Eshune se bhashe prema sukhe. He will bask in prema. Rupa Raghunath Padyarash Chaitanya Charindramrit Kahe Krishnadas. Praying at the Lord's feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 21, describing the blissful characteristics of Krishna, the opulence and sweetness of Krishna. So that's the end of chapter 21, the opulence, sweetness of Krishna. Ultimately, Bhagavan Sambandh, and that Bhagavan is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, and both his Aishwarya and Madhura features are there. Ultimately, we have to be attracted to his Madhura feature. That is our Sambandh. Now, after having established Sambandh till chapter 21, Abhidheya, how to practice bhakti now. Once we have fixed our Sambandha deity as Braja Krishna in his sweet form, Madhurya form, then how to practice Abhidheya. Very, very important. That will be dealt in entire chapter 22, which we will begin as a new series. So any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Okay, we will stop then here. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki